In this video, I'd like to talk about our first homework assignment project that's using full-tick library. So you will see that the user interface that I'm asking you to build in this project is very similar to the results of Lab 3B, where we had an update or copy button to copy information from one text input to text output. Here, I'd like you to take degrees and click this button to convert them to radians and display to the user the result of the conversion. And then, of course, the user can click to degrees and the degrees should be updated. So it's just a pretty simple idea of having two buttons with two callbacks implementing the logic. For this exercise, I also suggest that you use Lab 4 and follow the steps of Lab 3B to reproduce necessary actions to use Fluid to design your graphical user interface, and also add callbacks as appropriate. So everything that we did in Lab 3B is pretty much what you need to repeat over here. In terms of the actual conversion, the users, of course, the radians will be looking like double, real numbers with floating point, like double. So here there's two functions that you can use. Make sure that you include these header files, string and string, and this makes conversion a string to a double. So this function takes a string and converts it to an internal double format. And this function takes a double and converts it to a string. So you may need both of these types of conversions. How do you convert double to text, and how you convert text to a double. And then this is an example of a main function that in endless loop is asking the user to enter a number to convert degrees and radians. And intentionally I use string, not double, but string to get the user input. So here we get this user input, and of course we use this function string to double to convert it to an actual degrees. And then this is the formula to convert to radians. So this little demo simply prints what degrees are and what the radians are, right? So it just prints conversion taking degrees and converts them to radians. Okay, so it prints degrees right here and it prints radians right here. So it displays both of these values. And this is the formula. Of course, you can say then that if you need to convert radians to degrees, then degrees will be equal radians divided by pi and multiplied by 100, right? I want you to submit the entire project, but make sure that you delete your debug and release files from the folder that contains your project, like I do normally after closing the solution and getting rid of these subfolders that are not necessary. So I'd appreciate if you keep your project in a small size and then just zip the entire file. Right, so this is the scope of this project. So take a look at this. Like I said, ideally you can use Lab 4 as a prototype, and to take care of the user interface and button callbacks, follow the steps in the handout for laboratory Lab 3, Lab 3B to be exact.